This is an experience I had when I was 16 years old during the winter. Since the incident, I still can't go outside on snowy days. Back then, whenever it snowed, there was something I always did. It was called snowman smashing. Paul, George, and I would gather in the village on snowy days, look for snowmen that other people had made, and have fun destroying them as we found them. But one day, we discovered a strange snowman. The snowman was as big as an adult, wearing a black cloak, and had deeply carved eyes and mouth. Paul put his hand inside the snowman's mouth and screamed, pulling his hand out quickly. His hand was bleeding. It turned out that there were many blades inside the snowman's mouth. In rage, Paul shouted, "Whoever dared make me bleed shall bleed too." He started to remove the snowman's cloak. Then Paul walked back and ran toward the snowman, smashing it with a flying kick. We cheered in delight. But something came out of the broken snowman's body. It looked like some sort of heart. We screamed and ran away. Later, the police investigated and found out that it was a goat's heart. However, they couldn't figure out who had put it there. That night before bed, I felt an inexplicable sense of fear. It was as if incredibly cold air was entering my room. Even tightly wrapped in a blanket, my body shivered, and I couldn't sleep all night. Since that day, I have been tormented by the feeling that the cold air has followed me all day long. Winter break ended, and I went to school and received some shocking news. Paul had died. It turned out that one day, Paul had jumped and tried to deliver a flying kick to another snowman, but slipped and fell backward, breaking his neck and dying. George and I were at a loss for words. We didn't say it, but we both felt a sense of shared terror. Since then, a sinister atmosphere loomed over the village, and all parents sternly warned their children never to smash snowmen. However, after some time, another heavy snowfall occurred, and as usual, a snowman wearing a black cloak was built in the middle of the village the next day. Some foolish children smashed the snowman, and shortly after, a boy in the neighborhood choked to death on a candy. He was one of the children who had smashed the snowman. After that, the parents in the village never allowed their children to go outside on snowy days and locked their doors tightly. Thus, no one walked around the streets on snowy days. Nevertheless, the day after heavy snowfall, the snowman with the black cloak would always appear in the middle of the street, but no one dared to touch it. As time went by, the snowman no longer appeared in the village, and fortunately, no more tragedies occurred. However, since then, mentioning the snowman in the village has been strictly forbidden. To this day, it remains unsolved who made that snowman and what it was. It's still an unresolved mystery.